So yeah, Team Sales IQ has planned on has scheduled like 4 webinars for this month, and today's session is going to be the first of the series. So today's session is going to be all about a brief introduction to Sales IQ. And before even introducing Sales IQ, I'll introduce myself. This is Bala from Team Sales IQ, and yeah, let's move on to the session. So this is going to be today's agenda. So we'll just see a brief introduction about Sales IQ, then we'll just consider a quick example, and then we'll just look into the prominent features of Sales IQ. Then we'll just go through a small demo. Then we'll have a question answer session. And guys, you can also drop in your queries like even between the sessions, and a friend here who will answer your questions right away. So yeah, we'll move on. So what is Sales IQ? I bet like most of them out there have got Sales IQ completely wrong because most of them think that Sales IQ is just a live chat application, which is absolutely not true. I would rather say that Sales IQ is built of two fundamental components, which would be visitor tracking and live chat. But Sales IQ is not just that. I would rather address Sales IQ as a complete package of essentials required for visitor engagement. You might all wonder, like, why would she even say that? To get a clear picture, let's just consider a quick example. You're a car dealer and you're setting up an online automotive marketplace where people can actually come buy cars and automotive parts. So what would be the first step that you take up? Obviously you'll be striving for recognition because you have to let people know that you even exist in the market. So say you're probably sending out pamphlets, brochures, email campaigns, or ads, etc. And say a bunch of people are actually interested in your products and they're just dropping by your website. So what happens next? I bet like only 10% of the web traffic that is hitting your website would step forward to buy your products, and rest of the 90% would just slip away because they might probably be indecisive about what are their needs, and what product would satisfy their needs better, or what would be the right automotive part that would be compatible with the car that they already own or something like that. So and also there's a good chance of them like not finding what they were looking for, and so obviously they would leave. So this is where Sales IQ comes into play. Sales IQ lets you identify the visitors who are actually on the website. Sales IQ identifies the visitors on the website based on like various you're using various techniques. Like maybe they already have a trace in Sales IQ, or they might probably be visiting your website via the email campaign that you had sent earlier. And the Sales IQ parameter identifiers can easily identify you by your name and email address, or you can also use Zoho SalesIQ's JS API to procure the visitor details via a web form. Maybe if you have a sign up form or something. So then you can also track their trail on your website. Say what all pages they have visited, and what are all pages they have visited so far, and how much time they've spent on all the pages that they've visited, etc. So analyzing all this, you'll just get a clear picture like what are all products they're interested in and stuff. And also you can frame score rules to grade your visitors. Like you can use the lead scoring feature of Sales IQ to grade your visitors. Like if they perform a particular action, you can just give them a reasonable score. For instance, say if they're downloading a brochure of a particular car model, it obviously means that they're interested in it. So you can give them a reasonable score. And similarly, if they're actually grazing through the pricing page of a particular page, it obviously means that they're actually looking forward to buy it. So you can give a reasonable score for them, and which will be summed up to a final score. So once you analyze the browsing pattern, their interest, and the lead score, you can actually you can actually filter out the qualified leads out of the entire web traffic that had hit your website. So just to make sure that you just hand over the qualified leads to your sales team. And once it's done, your sales squad can easily talk them into buying the products. And even if there will obviously be a bunch of visitors who will play hardball, like they may not be convinced with what your sales squad offered. So you can just set up an open potential right away from the chat window, and follow up on it, because not all the visitors would would be convinced the first strike. So you will have to just strike up again and again, follow up on it, so that until they're actually convinced to buy the products. And yeah, once your visitors become customers, it is really necessary that you're always available for them to assist them when they're coming up with a query or an issue. So, so Sales IQ's live chat application is the best means of communication, because if you opt to use email or phone call over live chat application, you'll obviously be facing lots of problem. Like you might be stormed with lots of emails, and you'll have to answer it, and or calling you up is not like the best means of communication. So it would be better if you just opt for live chat application like Sales IQ, and you can educate them. You can just type out insightful articles and put them up on their chat windows, so that they can easily access them and use them as a quick reference guide, so that they don't really have to come up with trivial questions and ask the operators of the firm. And yeah, and also if they bring up any issues, you can easily file tickets and resolve them right away from your Sales IQ dashboard. And also there's a saying like, if once a customer is always a customer. Say if someone is buying a car from your marketplace, and you can also send them an email saying that you can buy these speakers for this particular car model, or you can say that you can buy alloy wheels for this, and you have offers for this and offers for that. So yeah, you can do all this without having to leave your Sales IQ dashboard. Well, now let's see like what are the prominent features of Sales IQ that are to be noted. So here goes the first one: articles. Zoho SalesIQ articles would let you create insightful articles which can be shared with the visitors who are actually hitting your website, and it would just act like a mini online self-serve library, so that it will act like a quick reference guide, so that your visitors need not just come up and disturb the operators of your firm for trivial questions like how do I change my password, or how do I manage multiple accounts, etc. So this would obviously lead to a drastic decrease in the incoming chat requests. Well, the next one is canned responses. Canned responses would let you to configure predefined responses for frequently asked queries. So this feature would let you save a lots of time, because you don't really have to type in the same answer again and again. So you can respond to your visitors quickly, and also you can avoid grammatical errors, because you're not typing the answers again and again. And the next would be intelligent triggers. Intelligent triggers can be used to automate certain tasks, like for instance, say if a particular you can set a bunch of criterions based on which the intelligent triggers would just be executed. For instance, say if a customer is landing on your website, and he's just grazing through a pricing page of a particular car, you can just send out a chat invite saying that hey, hi, how are you doing, or something like that, or are you interested in this particular product, or something like that. And yeah, you can also automate the process of creating the mailing list. Like for instance, say if someone is just running through the vintage cars section, you can create a separate mailing list, and you can automate the process. They'll automatically be added to the particular mailing list. Mobile SDKs. SalesIQ offers a mobile SDK for both the platforms, be it iOS or Android. You can easily integrate mobile SDK with your existing mobile application. So on integrating, you can avail live chat widget and start tracking for that particular mobile application that you already own. Yeah, chat routing. Chat routing would let you route the particular set of visitor requests to the right set of operators. Right set of operators, as in like every other operator would have their own skill set or field experience, something like that. So if you just route the visitor chat requests to the right set of operators, I think you can optimize the skill set of the operators even more. Customizing the chat widgets. I guess like SalesIQ is the only product that offers so many options to customize the chat widgets. You can literally control every aspect of the chat widget's appearance, right from theme color, and type, etc. You can, if you're not a big fan of the choices that we provide, you can also upload your own custom CSS file to customize your chat widget. Email signatures. So you on using this, website won't be the only place where your visitors can actually initiate a chat, because on using email signatures in social media, in your social media posts and email campaigns, your visitors can instantaneously initiate a chat right away from their social media posts or email campaigns. Lead scoring would let you filter out the qualified leads. You would obviously have a particular ideal customer profile. You'll have a particular particular kind of criterions that a visitor should match for him or her to be an ideal customer. So if to identify them out of the entire web traffic that is hitting your website, you can just frame score rules. Like, for instance, say if they're performing certain actions, you can provide them with a reasonable score. So once it gets summed up, and who's having the highest score will be just handed over to the sales team, and so that they can take care of it from there. And this also saves a lot of time and resource, so you need not desiccate your time and resource over visitors who are like not strike worthy. Visitor history. There is a good chance of the operators missing out certain visitors, because you can't stay vigilant like all the time. You might miss good prospective leads. So when they slip away, you can find them out in visitor history. Send out a mail right away from the visitor history tab. And also you can view all the data that SalesIQ had indexed about the particular visitor, so that you'll know that if it is strike worthy or not. And you can send out a mail right away from the visitor history tab. Well, yeah, thank you. Now we'll be just seeing the demo session. This would be the SalesIQ's visitor tracking screen. Here you could see the visitors who are actually online on your website. So these are the priority rings, and the priority drops from like inside throughout. So this would be the highest priority ring. So yeah, this is a mini visitor tile, and clicking on this, I can just see the basic information that SalesIQ has indexed about that particular visitor: name, email address, and CRM opportunity, their lead score, and what is the action that they performed right now, and the time that they have spent on the website, and number of visits, and number of conversations that they've initiated with the operators of the firm, and the last visit time. And here you can just see the IP address of the visitor and the geolocation of the visitor. And this is the page where the visitor had landed up, and this would be the source from where the visitor got redirected to your website. And onto the right pane, you can just see the lead information, and you can also see the path, like the trail of the visitor. And yeah, and from here you can initiate a chat proactively with them, saying like, hey. And yeah, and you have to choose the department from which you're going to initiate the chat. Say I'm choosing Zilka, clicking on send, and yeah, you've just initiated a chat. And now, though, how do you want to prioritize the visitors who are actually dropping by? See, you can click on this customize tab, and frame the rules based on which you would like to prioritize the visitors. Ring one would be the most would be for the most important leads. So you got to be very careful while configuring this, because yeah, they would be the hot leads that your sales team has to concentrate on. So for instance, say they are a CRM contact or CRM potential is equal to, say, $50,000. And yeah, and so you can configure all the rules that you would want to, based on which you would like to prioritize the visitors around the priority circles. And also you can this customize tab would allow you to create custom filters of like five custom filters. So it is not really necessary that you have to just use the predefined filters, like prioritize the visitors based on actions, CRM values, last activity time, etc. So now, and also only the hot leads will be organized around the priority rings. The cold visitors will be placed outside because they aren't of much importance, so they'll be just outside the priority ring, so that you can only concentrate on this on the visitors who are actually on the rings, priority rings. So yeah, so here you can just view the sales IQ data of the visitors who are actually online. But in the visitor history tab, you can also view the details of the visitors who have already left your website. For instance, say I'm just clicking on this particular record, and you can see all the details that sales IQ had indexed about this particular visitor who's not online right now. You could just see the visits that they've paid or actions that they have performed on your website. And next, I'm just navigating through settings and websites. Well, this particular module would let you customize the chat widget that you're going to embed on the website. You can actually control the every aspect of a chat widget's appearance. So So you could just choose a suitable theme, color, and if you're not really a big fan of like what the choices that we provide you with, you can always just upload a custom CSS file of your own to customize the chat widget embedded. And yeah, automation. Intelligent triggers. Sales IQ has a sales. This is a very important feature of Sales IQ. This has been launched only to automate certain tasks. Like for instance, say I'm just look at this rule. Okay, this this model would let you name the trigger. Then you can just configure the criterions based on which you would like to trigger the visitors. For instance, say if a visitor is landing on my website and the landing page title contains the term pricing, I would just send a chat invite saying, "Hey there," after 5 seconds. So every time a visitor grazes through the pricing page of a particular product, I would obviously send out a chat invite saying that, "Hey there," so that if they would need any assistance, I could easily just talk them into buying the product. And yeah, next, chat routing. So chat routing allows you to route the incoming chat request to a particular set of operators who are actually, good. For instance, say a visitor says that he's not really satisfied with the service or something. You can just route the chat, all the chats that contain the word, say, not satisfied or expressing dissatisfaction, to a particular set of operators who are very good at appeasing the customers. Or if a particular customer just comes up with a question saying that are there any discounts on the final bill amount, you can just send those chat requests to a particular set of operators who are very diplomatic, so that they'll handle the situation so cool that both the sides will have the win-win situation. So yeah. So for instance, say I'm just configuring, or I've just configured a rule here already, like the criterion is if the visitor is from the country Argentina, I would just route to these two operators, Jasmine and Spencer, and it would be routed one by one. So say the first chat request would be routed to Jasmine, and the next would be routed to Spencer. And yeah, this is the brand new feature that SalesIQ has launched: canned responses and articles. Canned responses would help you just configure predefined messages that you can configure predefined messages for frequently asked queries. For instance, if a visitor just drops by asking you like, how can I reset my password? You just don't have to really just type out the same answers again and again. You can just type out once, save it, hold it down here in this section, and you can just use them while conversing with the visitors. You don't really have to type it again and again. And articles would let you just type out all the insights that you hold about your products and services, which you can actually put up in the chat windows of your visitors. So it will act like a quick reference guide for them. So whenever they're just coming up with a very trivial question like, okay, how do I change my password? How do I manage multiple accounts? They don't really have to come disturb the operators of your firm. All that they have to do is switch to the FAQ section, search for a particular article, and they can just read through. And they can just, I would rather say that articles is FAQ section is just like a online self-serve library for the visitors. So in this way, you can also educate them, and they don't really have to disturb the operators of your firm for trivial questions like that. And also, you get to categorize the articles like so that you can organize all the articles that you create in a better way. Next comes the lead scoring module. Lead scoring modules would let you actually grade your visitors who are hitting your website. Say for instance, if a particular visitor is actually downloading the brochure of a particular model of car, then it obviously means that he's showing interest in that particular product. So you can just give like about 200 points for him. Or if he's just grazing through the pricing page, you can give him like 200 points. And or maybe like he's just grazing through a particular section, you can just give him a particular amount of score, reasonable score, and stuff like that. So the final score would let you decide whether he or she matches the ideal customer profile that you have in mind. And so that you can just hand off only the best and most qualified leads to your sales team, so that they don't really have to desiccate their time and resource over junk leads. Well, yeah, and that's it. Thanks for sticking around, guys. And if you have any questions, do drop us a message, and you'll have it all answered by tomorrow. Thank you.